Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic, Star Trek Book Review Phase 3 with my co-star, Phil. And I'm redoing a review since I've actually reread it now and didn't just go from like vague memory of Boldly Live as You Have Never Lived Before, Unauthorized and Unexpected Life Lessons from Star Trek. If there's a book that screams 90s, this is it. You know, the sort of 90s pseudo-scientific, you know, psychologist babble, you know. So there's sort of a lot of self-help of the 90s in this book. And this is from Richard Rabin and Hayagua Cohen. And it is interesting. You do kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. If you want, like, self-help, you probably get more out of, you know, everything I've learned in life I've learned by watching Star Trek by Baron David Barnaccio. But if you're a overtly analytical person as I am, this is not that bad. And it separates groups of people into heroes, warriors, logical people, you know, analysts, and relators, like healers. And it goes through the meaning of each group, what sort of defines a warrior, healer, examples of said group, and, you know, just in how these personality types from Star Trek kind of feed into all of it. And then you end up with a questionnaire. Now, where's the end here? Now, the questionnaire wants to kind of find a balance of these four personality types. No one should be solely warrior, solely analyst. You kind of want a balance of all four. I don't balance. Let's see what, okay. An average score, or at least what would be good to hit would be 18, 9, 8, and 5. I have 24, 6, 5, and 4. So I am a hyper-analyst, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking, okay, this is why my videos are the way they are. I am an analyst. I research things till my brain oozes out of my ears. I want every finite piece of information that I can get about a subject. So, because my brain wants that kind of input, it automatically outputs the same thing. That's why you get every tiny bit of piece of information that, you know, I can, you know, give. So it's hard for me just to generalize, because that's just not how my brain is wired. That's why you end up with 20-minute thrift hauls, you know? So, if you want vague, unimpressive, you know, 3 pieces of information stuff, you probably don't want to be here. If you don't mind that type of thing and you're a fellow analyst, hi, welcome. Plenty of room for us all. So, yeah, learn that through this. I can out-Spock, okay? And it tells you, or at least it attempts to tell you, okay, you're an analyst, this is probably what you're missing, this is what you should be focusing on, here are them, and they give you exercises to do in different scenarios, and you answer a few questions, and you kind of want to balance out certain things. Probably not going to help, but, you know, what the heck. The most I would think you'd get out of this book might not be necessarily to assist you in changing yourself, really, which I personally find it hard to do just the way I'm wired. You know, having taken so long to accept the fact that I'm me, you know, not really willing to change that much for anybody else, yeah. But it's a good way to kind of understand other people. Like, I can't quite grasp, like, the relators. Relators and analysts, probably not a group that would mingle very well, you know. I'm having a problem with a person who's probably thinking she's a relator right now. You know, these are, like, sort of the hyper relators that want to know everybody's business and will grill you for information and not actually converse with you. You know, people like me find them mentally unstable, where they probably figure me the same way, being, well, why doesn't this person want to, you know, be touchy-feely and, you know, spill out all the information, and, you know, so we're totally polar opposites there. And then you have the warriors and the leaders who, you know, you just know these people, you know. Take charge. Okay, let's get our crap done. And then, actually I think leaders and warriors are two different people. But I think you gotta be a little both there, but yeah, so it's a good way to kind of understand other personality types. I mean, or focus on your own personality types, like I did know I was analytical. But you know, it's kind of heavy-handed in its writing. It's not a book that you can just, I think you bore, well, for me anyways, I kind of bored a little easily reading this book, and then I got sick where I couldn't move my eyeballs to read it, so I had to take a little hiatus on that. But yeah, it's an interesting read, but I don't think it's one that would, like, grip you, you know? But it's good to help you understand other people. Especially if you're having a problem, you kind of go through this book and you're like, oh, maybe they're this personality type, and it might help you kind of work around them, you know? So, helpful in some ways, not really in the way they're trying to portray, but worth a read anyways. I mean, it's a give or take book. It's not something I'm going to say go out and buy, but if you stumble across it on the cheap, pick it up. It's fairly interesting, even if it's nothing to do with Star Trek. I mean, it'll make it easier to digest with the Star Trek references, but, you know, if you're interested in, like, the self-help books and those type of psychoanalytical type things, it might be interesting to you as well. Or anybody interested in psychology, really, even. So, it's a little above meh. So, thank you for watching. Do comment down below if you have read this book, or any kind of those, like, self-help books, and what your opinions are on them. Brain fart. Do rate a thumbs up for self-help books. Let's see, self-help through YouTube, I don't know. And subscribe. There's always room for one more at The Strange and Exotic. See you next time. Read long and prosper.